Hello friends, in this lecture we will discuss about linear variable differential transform. These are the contents of this lecture. The learning objectives. So in this lecture we will focus on the basics of LVDT, construction, working principle and operation of LVDT, specification and selection criteria of the LVDT. Okay, so these are the objective of this lecture. So we'll start with basics of LVDT. The term LVDT stands for linear variable differential transform. So its name suggests that there is a transformer which is a primary and secondary winding. Okay. We'll see what is differential word is used. Why differential word is used? Okay. It is the most widely used inductive transducer that converts linear motion into electrical signal. Linear motion, linear displacement, okay, into the electrical signal. The output across secondary of the transformer is the differential, thus it is called so. Differential means there is a difference in the secondary voltage of the transformer or LVDT. Okay. So there is a differential term means there is a the difference we require two terms or two numbers so that this secondary winding is splitted into two parts. Okay. So it is very accurate inductive transducers as compared to the other inductive transducers. Okay, now we will see why it is very accurate. A LVDT is an electromechanical mechanism that provides a voltage reference that is proportional to the displacement of a core inside a coil. Okay. So inside the coil there is a soft iron core, and when there is a movement of this core which is attached to the linear displacement motion of any machine part, so the proportional voltage with the displacement of core is induced on the secondary side, and there is a difference between the two voltages. So this is the basic of LVDT. So an AC voltage when applied to the primary coil creates an induced voltage in the secondary coil of an LVDT. Okay. So it is a transformer. So when the primary coil of the transformer is supplied by AC supply, then the EMF is induced on the secondary coil or secondary winding of the transformer. As the LVDT's core, which is made of magnetic material, moves, the voltage at the output of the secondary coil changes. So in the transformer, so there is a core. So generally these are the hollow air core coils, primary and secondary winding, and between this coil the core is placed, and as the core moves, so the proportional to the displacement of this core, voltage is induced in the secondary coil, or there is a change in the voltage with respect to movement of the core. The induced voltage created by the core movement and the way the secondary coils are wound determine the value of the voltage change. Now how this difference is created, okay, so that we'll see. The secondary coil is wound in the opposite direction of the primary so that the induced voltage will change polarity as the core moves. Okay? And because of that, the opposite direction of the secondary windings, so there is a difference between the voltage. this inductive transducer. Okay, so we'll revise this. LVDT is an inductive transducer, and now what is an inductive transducer, what is a basic principle of inductive transducer, okay, that we'll see. The basic principle is that the self inductance in a single coil, if we change the supply, okay, so there is a change in the self inductance, or the mutual inductance between the two coils is changed by a quantity to be measured. Okay. So the equation of inductance L is equal to N square mu A by L. Okay. So in the previous video, so we learn about the transducers, classification of the transducer, and the details of resistive, inductive and capacitive transducers. Okay. So this detail we'll learn in the transducer, introduction to transducer video. So okay, here we just revise for LVDT. So this G is equal to A by L. Okay, so A is a cross sectional area of coil, that is a fixed. L, length of coil, it is also fixed. So this A by L, this G, geometric form factor, is a constant. Then mu, permeability of the medium. Mu is a permeability of the medium. Mu R, relative permeability, mu 0. So this mu is a permeability of the medium. So here two coils, both coils have their self inductance, okay, denoted by L1 and L2, and these two coils are also have the mutual inductance between these two coils. So M is equal to under root L1 L2, and the EMF induced the secondary coil is equal to M di by dt. Okay. So in this way, so there is a change in the self inductance in the primary and secondary coil with respect to change in this iron core. Okay, so which will change this permeability of the mirror, and this M mutual inductance is a change with L1 and L2 inductance of primary and secondary coil. Okay. Now we'll see the construction of LVDT. Okay. So this LVDT, there is a primary winding which is supplied with input supply, AC supply. These secondary windings are splitted into two parts and they are placed on the both side of the primary winding, and this primary winding is connected in such a way that the direction of current flowing through the secondary winding is opposed. Okay, it is opposite. So this is iron core. Okay, so this part is connected with the mechanical movement part. Okay, mechanical part. So this part moves, or this core moves, say forward and reverse direction. So this is the connection of primary and secondary coils. So this is the complete assembly and a cross-sectional view of LVDT. So in this part, so these are, this red one will show the secondary winding, this middle one is a primary winding. Okay, this is a part. So this outer case is made with stainless steel housing. Okay, and the end leads provide electrostatic and electromagnetic shielding. So there are coils, and these coils are very much sensitive to the external electrostatic and electromagnetic effects. Okay, so to avoid the external electromagnetic electrostatic effect, the stainless steel tube housing and these end leads are provided. Okay, so to avoid the electrostatic and electromagnetic effect, external electromagnetic and electrostatic effect. Okay, so for that this shield is provided. Then housing is spun swagged over end leads to produce tight seal. Okay. So here the tight seal is provided. Okay, so it is avoid the entering of say any kind of air, gas, okay, or the humidity. Okay, so for that it is a tight seal is provided. Then high density glass filled polymer coil form has low moisture absorption and excellent thermal stability. Okay. So coil movement due to moisture breathing is eliminated. So here the coils with enameled copper conductor wound coils are there, and again these coils they are filled with glass polymer. Okay, so to avoid the absorption of moisture, okay, so it is a totally sealed. Okay, so it made solid by using these fillings. Okay. And the second purpose of this solid, so there is a good thermal or heat dissipation. Okay, so that it will achieve the excellent thermal stability. Okay, and coil movement due to moisture breathing is eliminated. Okay, when the moisture is absorbed, so this insulation it expands. Okay, and say during a dry condition it contrasts. Okay, so to avoid the breathing or to avoid the say movement of coil because of this moisture breathing, so it is avoided. Okay, so to avoid the breathing or the movement, to get the good thermal stability, to reduce the moisture absorption, these coils are filled with polymer, glass filled polymers. Then epoxy encapsulation ensures proper heat transfer and bonding of coil to the housing. So these coils they are placed in this stainless steel housing. Okay, and between this stainless steel housing and coil, okay, so this epoxy material will provide the proper heat transfer. So between this stainless steel housing and coil, the epoxy will fill the gap. Okay, and the heat generated in this coil, so it is a transfer through this epoxy to the stainless steel housing. Okay, so that there is a proper bonding between the stainless steel housing and the coil. Okay, and this will help for the heat transfer. Then how these coils they are manufactured? The vacuum and pressure impregnation with high grade electrical varnish adds the additional moisture proofing, thermal stability and structural integrity to the coil. Okay. So once these coils are wound with say number of turns, okay, then they are dipped with the varnish, okay, impregnated with high grade electrical varnish, and these coils they are placed in the vacuum. Okay, so that if there is any cavity or any air bubble is there, okay, so because of this vacuum that is called as a impregnation. This adds the moisture proofing. Okay, so there is no gap, so the moisture is not absorbed, so which will get the thermal stability. Okay. So this is the construction of coils. Then between this coil, so in this hollow portion, so there is a core. Okay. This core is free to move in this coil. Okay. So this core is made of high permeability nickel iron hydrogen anneal core for low harmonics, low null voltage and high sensitivity. So this is the construction of LVDT. Okay. Now we'll see how these coils, secondary coils, they are divided. Okay. The transformer consists of a primary winding P, okay, LVDT, linear variable differential transformer. Okay. So like our regular electrical transformer, there are primary and secondary winding. In the similar way, this central winding is a primary winding which is connected to the input voltage, and there are two secondary windings, S1 and S2. Okay, so wound on a cylindrical format. So both the secondary windings have an equal number of turns and place them on either side of primary. Okay, so S1, S2, they are having equal number of turns and they are placed either side of the primary winding. The primary winding is connected to an AC source which produces a flux in the air gap, and voltages are induced in the secondary winding. Okay. So this core linked with this primary and secondary winding. Okay. So when it is at the center position, so equal amount of voltage is induced in the S1 and S2 winding. A movable soft iron core is placed inside the former and displacement to be measured is connected to the iron. Now this winding, okay, so which is wound on the former, okay, so there is no iron core, okay, so these windings are air cored windings are there, okay. So to avoid the hysteresis loss, okay, to avoid the loss, to avoid the eddy current loss, okay, so these coils, they are air cored coils, okay? So there is no iron core like transformer. So this moving part will act as a core, and because of this movement of the soft iron core, okay, so this flux linkage is a change and the EMF induced in S1 and S2. The iron core is generally of high permeability, which helps in reducing harmonics and high sensitivity of LVDT. Okay. The LVDT is placed inside a stainless steel housing because it will provide the electrostatic and electromagnetic shielding, as we see in the cross-sectional diagram. The both of the secondary windings are connected in such a way that resultant output is the difference between the voltages of two windings. Okay. Now see, this primary winding is connected to the supply, so this is a direction of current through this coil. Okay, and according to right hand rule, okay, so current is moving in this direction, so we put the dot here, and the transformer, according to the transformer polarity convention, okay, so here the current is entering and this secondary winding S2 is connected in such a way that, so primary side current is entering and the secondary winding, the current should be leaving. Okay, so both the direction of current are in opposite direction. Okay, so these dots are provided, and this S1 and S2, they are connected in such a way that in S2 winding the current is flowing in the downward direction, in S1 winding current is flowing in the upward direction. Okay, so the direction of current, they are in the opposite direction. Okay, so here E1 is induced, E2 is induced, and there is a difference because the direction of current through that S1 and S2, okay, so which will create the difference, so that it is called as a differential transfer. Okay, so because of this it is called as a differential transfer. Again here the colored cross-sectional picture is shown here. Now we will see the principle of operation or the working of LVDT. So as the primary is connected to an AC source, so alternating current and voltages are produced in the secondary winding of LVDT. Okay, so E1 and E2, EMF or voltage is induced in the S1 and S2 secondary coil because of the primary winding connected to the input. The output in secondary winding S1 is E1 volt and in secondary S2 is E2. Okay, so E1 and E2 are the voltages in S1 and S2. So the differential output is, so difference means we'll see the resultant E out is equal to E1 minus E2. E1 minus E2. Okay, so this is the say vector addition or vectorical difference E out, okay, between S1 and S2. Now we'll see case 1. When the core is at null position, means at the center of this primary winding. Okay, so when the core is at null position, when the flux linkage with both the primary winding is equal, so the induced EMF is equal in both the winding. Okay, so L is equal to N mu. Okay, and the A by L is constant. Okay, so here N is a number of turns, mu is a permeability. Okay, so here the number of turns on the secondary S1 and S2, they are same with the primary winding. Okay, so the EMF induced in E1 and E2 winding is same. Okay, so that E1 is equal to E2, so the difference is 0. So it shows that no displacement took place at the center position, at the null position. The voltage output at these two wires of the secondary winding, or at these two terminals of the secondary winding, is 0. Okay, so this is a case 1. Now case 2, we shift this iron core in the upward direction. The core is moved to upward of null position for displacement to the upward of reference pole. Okay, so in this case the flux linking with a secondary winding S1 is more as compared to the flux linking with S2. Now see, this core is moved in the upward direction. Okay, so this flux linkage N mu, so here N is more, so mu is there. Okay, and because of this there is a more EMF is induced in the S1 winding. Okay, the magnitude of E1 is more as compared to E2. Okay, so here the flux linkage is less as compared to S1. Okay, because this core moved in the upward direction. Okay, so due to this output voltage E out is positive. Okay, so E out is equal to E1. The magnitude of E1 is more than E2. So E1 minus E2 is equal to plus E. Okay, so it shows that displacement took place in the upward direction and positive E is a proportional to the displacement or change in length or change in movement of the iron. Then case 3, the core is moved to downward of null position. Okay, for displacement to the downward of a reference point. Okay, so this iron core is moved in the downward direction. Okay. Now there is a opposite reaction to the case 2. So in this case the flux linking with secondary winding S2 is more as compared to the flux linking with S1. Okay. So due to this E2 will be more than E1. Okay. Now in this case the magnitude of EMF induced E2 in the secondary winding S2 is more than E1. Okay, so this difference E out is equal to E1 minus E2. The magnitude of E2 is more, so your output is minus E. Okay, so it shows that displacement took place in the downward direction and minus E is a proportional to the displacement or change in the length or change in the movement of iron core. Okay. So in this way, this plunger change its position, so the flux linkage will be changed, and depending on the EMF induced in S1 and S2, okay, so that will depend on the movement of this iron core. When it is in the upward direction, so we will get positive output. It will move in the downward direction, you will get the negative. Okay. So from this we can find out whether the displacement is, say, in the upward direction or downward direction, or it is forward or reverse. Okay, and depending on this E, this electrical output is calibrated in terms of displacement. It is in millimeter or centimeter or inches. So in this way we can measure the distance by using LVDT. The output versus core displacement. A linear curve shows that output voltage varies linearly with the displacement of. Now, as seen in the case 1, case 2, case 3, at the center position or null position, your output, secondary output is 0. Secondary output is 0. Okay, and when it moves in the upward direction or say in the right hand direction, so we get the positive voltage. Okay, so this is a positive voltage. And when it moves in the downward direction or on the right hand side, okay, so it will give opposite direction. So there is a distance, some distance for which we get the linear relation. Okay, we get the linear relation, and beyond that, so there is some distortion in the outputs. Okay, so this is the curve output voltage versus core displacement. So this electrical output of this LVDT, okay, it cannot be used directly in the electrical circuit. Okay. So nowadays we are using microprocessor, microcontrollers, or PLCs, okay, as a closed loop system, as a feedback system. Okay, and this microprocessor, microcontroller, or this PLC, they work on 5 volt DC supply and a plus 5 volt DC supply, and this output voltage we have to reduce or condition in such a way that, okay, say output of this LVDT will is fulfill the requirement of this microprocessor or these controlling devices. So that is called as a signal conditioning. So modern LVDT provides demodulation or rectification circuits to convert the secondary output into DC voltage. Okay. So output of this secondary coil is AC, so that AC is converted into the DC signal voltage. Okay. So this DC voltage signal is in linear proportional to the core movement within its range. Okay, so linear proportional means it is a continuous or it is an analog signal. Okay, and this microprocessor or microcontroller, so they will accept or they will work on 0 and 1 or in the binary or in the discrete way. Okay, so we need to convert this linear proportional voltage or this analog signal into the discrete one. Okay. The resultant voltage then core is at its starting position, so we get plus DC voltage. When the core is at its end position, then we get the resultant minus DC voltage. So when the core is at middle, it provides a null or 0. So voltage output. So the same thing is shown in this figure. Okay. So this D1, D2, this is a center tapped coils are there. Okay. So with respect to AC supply, so this D1 will convert the positive cycle into DC1. Okay. For negative cycle, this D2 will convert into the, and C1, C2 and this resistance and this C1, okay, they will act as a filter circuit. Okay, they will rectify AC output into the DC1. So this diagram is shown. Okay, so this LVDT is used, or it can be used as a secondary transducer. Okay, so C-type burden tube is used as a primary. Okay, so for this is example of pressure measurement. So the free end of this burden tube is connected to the iron core of LVDT. Then next is a demodulator circuit. After that there is a low pass filter. So with this change, okay, so we can pass the desired frequency. Okay, so for that the low pass filter is used. Then there is an instrumentation amplifier. So this instrumentation amplifier will amplify the gain of the output of this low pass filter or the LVDT, and after that the signal conditioner is there, so which will convert this voltage into the desired input of this microcontroller or PLC. Okay, so 0 to 10 volt or plus minus 10 volt, or 0 to 5 volt plus minus 5 volt in terms of voltage. Okay, nowadays the milliampere is used, plus minus 20 milliampere. Okay, so by using this signal conditioner, the voltage is converted into a current form. Okay. Then this voltage to current converter is there, and it is used to the remote indicator or the remote say your microcontroller or microprocessor. So this is the signal conditioning from pressure to the discrete one. So it used in conjunction with LVDT to convert transducers mechanical position to a unipolar or bipolar DC voltage with high degree of accuracy and repeatability. All circuits are included on the chip with addition of few external passive components to set frequency and gain that converts the raw LVDT secondary output to a scaled DC signal. They contains a low distortion sine wave oscillators to drive the LVDT drive. Okay. So by using this sine wave oscillator, the primary winding or primary coil of LVDT is supplied. Okay. The LVDT secondary output consists of two sine wave AC supply, positive and negative. That conditioning system operates upon the two signals, dividing their difference by their sum, producing a scaled unipolar or bipolar DC output. So depending on the application, if your core or movement is only in one direction, so which will move from null position to say upward direction, and from upward direction up to the null position, so we get the unipolar output. Okay, but it moves in the opposite direction of the null position, so we get the negative output. Okay, so this is unipolar and bipolar DC output. Now what is a transducer? So what is the range of measurement. Okay, what exactly it does. So LVDTs are capable of measuring displacement ranging from plus minus 1 millimeter, okay, or 1.7 millimeter, that is 0.05 inches, to plus minus 254 millimeter, that is 10 inches. So this is the range of measurement of displacement. The excitation voltage for an LVDT is usually between 1 to 10 volt AC. So input voltage for the primary coil is 1 to 10 volt, and the frequency is 400 to 20 kilohertz for primary coil. The voltage output from an LVDT is generally plus minus 10 volt for any displacement range. So there are some slight changes depending on the application, depending on the purpose, depending on the overall size, depending on the manufacturer. Okay. So null repeatability is extremely stable in LVDT due to the symmetry of the device. Okay. So primary winding, then on the both either side of the primary winding, the secondary S1 S2 windings are provided. Okay. And it is packed in the total epoxy system in the stainless tube container. Okay. So null repeatability is extremely stable. Okay. So when this core is at center, okay, so you will get the zero deflection. So this makes an LVDT an excellent null or 0 mm position indicator for closed loop control system. Okay. So in the industry or on the machines, okay, so closed loop system is used. Okay. So when this pull post is moved from home position, okay, so the distance is measured. Okay. So when the cutting application is finished, again it has to come to its original position or home position. Okay. So for that it is a good, so which will sense the 0 mm position. So these LVDTs also provide excellent resolution. Okay. Resolution means millivolt per volt per mm. Okay. For 1 mm distance, what is the output? Okay. So that is also a very good, since even the most minute movement of the core will produce an output voltage. Okay. If there is a slight change, fraction of mm change is there, so it will generate the output voltage. Okay. So that can be measured. Small distance or small movement or fraction of mm movement is also generate the output voltage. So what are the advantages? High range. The LVDTs have a very high range for measurement of displacement, ranging from say 1 mm to 250 mm. Okay. Say 0 to 10 inches. No frictional loss and fast response. Okay. So as the core moves inside a hollow former, so there is no loss. Okay. Means in iron core transformer, so there is a loss in the iron core, eddy current loss, hysteresis. Okay. Then if there is a friction, okay, so here there is no loss. Okay, because the coils are iron core, so eddy current or say your hysteresis loss are avoided. So there is no heat. As compared to that, the heat generated is less. Okay, iron core, so there is no friction. Okay, and because of that, the response of this LVDT is very fast. There is no friction, no loss, so response is very fast. Okay, no loss of displacement input as a frictional loss, so it makes LVDT as very accurate device. Okay. So high input and high sensitivity. The output of LVDT is so high that it doesn't need any amplification. Okay. So depending on your input voltage, say your output voltage is decided. Okay. The transducer processes a high sensitivity, which is typical about 40 volt per mm. 40 volt per mm. Okay. So it depends on the design. it depends on the size, it depends on the application. Okay. So this is the typical example, 40 volt per mm, low hysteresis. Okay. LVDT shows a low hysteresis and hence repeatability in excellent under all conditions. Okay. Low power consumption, the power is about 1 watt, which is very low as compared to the other transistors. Okay, so there is a no iron core, so loss or the power consumption is very low. Then direct conversion to the electrical signal. Okay. So this displacement or pressure or force, it is directly converted into the electrical signal. Okay. So they convert the linear displacement or the other physical parameters to the electrical voltage, which are easy to process. Okay. So input output insulation, as it is a transformer, so the LVDT's excitation and measurement electrical windings, okay, are completely insulated. So there are two coils, so there is no electrical connection between primary and secondary winding. Okay, there is no physical electrical connection, so the insulation between input and output side is very good. Excellent repeatability, less than 10 to the power minus 5 of a full scale, and long operating life. Okay, so low power consumption, so there is no heat. Okay, losses are very less. So overall, this will improve the life, operating life of the LVDT. What are the disadvantages? LVDT is sensitive to stray magnetic field, okay, and vibrations and temperature. So for stray magnetic, so we provide the steel container for the LVDT to avoid or to minimize the stray magnetic field. Transducers that use LVDT mechanism. Okay, so where these LVDTs are used for the measurement of various physical parameters. Okay, so first there is a transducers and it uses and measurements for which physical parameter. Okay, Burdon tube is used for pressure, fluid pressure and volume porosity, and another free end of this Burdon tube is connected to the LVDT. So LVDT can measure pressure, fluid pressure, volume porosity. Bellows and diaphragm, so again it is used for measurement of pressure, fluid pressure, low range pressure measurement. Okay, so LVDT, linear displacement and level measurement. Okay, so in the liquid tanks we can measure the level. Okay. Then manometer, measuring of the height of a column of liquid with a known density. LVDT gauge, which will measure the mechanical dial position indicator. Okay, gauging and displacement with a very small measurement. Accelerometer, acceleration in one or more axes. Servo positioning application, seismic system. Inclinometer, level sensing or inclination. Variable reluctance proximity detector, proximity detection of ferromagnetic object. Okay, so by using this LVDT, okay, with the primary type of transducers, we can measure this number of physical parameters. Okay. So we use LVDT in the applications where displacement to be measured are ranging from fraction of mm to a few centimeters. The LVDT acting as a primary transducer that converts displacement to the electrical signal directly. The LVDT can also be used as a secondary transducers. Okay, example Burdon tube or diaphragm. Okay. So which converts displacement into an electrical signal, which after calibration gives readings of pressure of fluid, air, gas, or this displacement in terms of millimeter pressure, fluid in terms of say bar, okay, or psi. The measurement could be a rotary or linear displacement of force, pressure, torque, velocity, acceleration, and vibration. Okay. So these are the applications of LVDT. Okay. Now, how to select the LVDT? Okay, so there are some criteria. So electrical stroke. Okay. The stroke to be measured accurately. This stroke needs to include all tolerances, including accuracy, temperature, effect, and zero position adjustment. Okay. So we have to define these parameters. Okay. Mechanical stroke. The maximum mechanical stroke of the equipment the LVDT is mounted on, so which have a through bore. Okay, means you required the say movement of the core on both sides. Okay, through core means opening on both sides. Other have plunged bore liners. Okay, blind means only one opening is required, in which case the selected LVDT must have sufficient mechanical stroke. Okay. Environmental condition, working condition. The temperature, environmental temperature, pressure, fluid exposure, vibration shock, contamination, humidity, sun ultraviolet exposure, hazardous atmosphere, proximity of high magnetic field or magnets, electromagnetic interference, radiation. Okay, so what kind of environment is there, in which environmental you are going to use this LVDT? Okay, so that you must have to specify, okay, while selecting the LVDT. Then package, mounting type. Okay, so whether you have to mount on say a hinge, okay, so that there is a inclination in the LVDT, or it is a permanently mounted on any surface. Okay, the overall dimension, so where you have to mount this LVDT, so the space arrangement, okay, on that particular machine. The weight, type of electrical connections, core guiding, captive core, spring loaded or air actuated, open Boreliner for fluid draining, etc. Okay, so this you must have to specify. Okay, so depending on the size or space on the machine. Mechanical stroke. The maximum mechanical stroke of the equipment the LVDT is mounted on have a through bore or other plug type bore linear. Okay, so as discussed earlier, I think this is repeated. Okay. This is also repeated. Environmental condition. Then supply, AC or DC operated. So whether the DC operated, there are many options: unipolar or bipolar DC voltage, or DC current, or digital. Okay, so what kind of output you required? Okay, because the primary coil is connected to the AC, and so we must have to provide the AC supply for the primary coil. But on the secondary side, whether you required AC or DC. Okay. Then availability of separate signal conditioning electronics. Okay, so you have to purchase this LVDT with signal conditioning device, or you are using separate signal conditioning device, that you must have to specify. Okay, or the output voltage of this signal conditioning device. Okay, or the input voltage of your controller. Okay, that you must have to specify. Required accuracy, linearity, and precision. Okay, so resolution is limited by the electronics it is connected to. For DC LVDTs, the resolution is the noise level. Okay, so what resolution is required, what accuracy is required. Okay, so that you must have to specify. Okay, then linearity. So you have to convert this physical parameter in the electrical one. Okay, so there must be a linear relation. Okay, so that range you must have to specify. Okay, then load connected. to the LVDT outputs, whether resistive, capacitive, and you must have to specify the cable length, because this loading, what kind of output you are going to connect to the LVDT. Okay, so there must be a impedance matching of the output and input. Okay, so that there is no voltage drop at the output terminals of the LVDT. Okay, if your cable length is increased, again the voltage drop is increased. Okay, then again you must have to use the shielded cable to avoid the interference with the power lines. Okay. So required life cycle determines the need for and type of core guiding. Okay, so what life you are expecting, okay, so that you must have to specify. Okay, so in this way you have to specify these parameters, or you have to assign the parameters while selecting the LVDT. Okay, now this slide shows the various arrangements of LVDT. Okay, so this is a burden tube, then this is a diaphragm type. Okay, so here spring loaded directly LVDT is used for the measurement of displacement. Here the LVDT is used for the measurement of weight. Again here measure the pressure difference P1 and P2 by using the diaphragm. Okay, so in this way we can use this LVDT as a secondary type transducer, or it can be used as a primary type transducer. Okay, now these are some actual pictures. Okay, so this is a CSI 6500 immersion process management, and these are the technical specification and a sensitivity for nominal measuring 270 millivolt per volt, okay, per mm, supply voltage 5 volt RMS, linearity error 2% of the total range, okay, means full scale, then carrier frequency 3 to 5 kilohertz, permissible environmental temperature -20 to +120 degrees centigrade, temperature sensitivity 0.1% per Kelvin, okay, nominal inductance, capacitance, and standard accessory. Then this is a second LVDT 1901 from MTC Industries and Research Carmiel Limited. Okay, again the specification for this LVDT. Okay, input voltage 5 volt RMS maximum, input frequency 5 kilohertz, linear measurement range ±8 mm, maximum core velocity 50 mm per second. Okay, then resistance of primary and secondary winding 90 ohm and 160 ohm, resolution 0.01 mm, accuracy ±1% for full scale, operating temperature -40 to +80, outer diameter 9.58 mm, weight 35 gram. Okay, so these are the specifications of LVDT 1901 of MTC Industries and Research. So this is another CER integration of SX12KSI Megit sensing system. Okay, so electrical power supply 2.2 volt RMS ±20%, 3500 Hertz 3.5 kilohertz ±10%, pressure maximum static pressure is 250 bar, operating and storage temperature -25 degrees centigrade to +125 degrees centigrade. Okay, so these are the actual views, actual pictures of LVDTs and the specification of LVDTs. So after the listening of this session, okay, so you should be able to describe what is LVDT, the basics of LVDT. You should be able to explain the function or the working of LVDT. Then you can draft the specification. You can write down the parameters for the selection of correct LVDT. So these are the outcome of this linear variable differential transducer lecture. Okay. So thank you for patience listening. Thank you.